I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important...
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance.
Hopes? That's odd, because I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
What?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand...
Huh? Well, that can't...
Evidence decides what people are... Don't fret, nobody's gonna believe... But if you dally any longer...
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why...
We'd better watch out. She seems like a danger.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church.
Wait, she heard that? But Paimon was whispering.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you, the honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your step... Otherwise, depending on your answer...
What? Do the nuns of Mondstadt have the authority?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't Sister...
That doesn't sound right.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his... Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm.
So, are you...
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight. Just sharpen my spear.
I got careless.
Nice and spicy.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Yeah?
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without a trace.
You're so suspicious. Why is Paimon a criminal in your example? It's getting colder and colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm all right. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Seems like there's more to being a nun in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized. Is that Albedo? What?
The word on the street is he loves sketching. He'll hang around, and the views and scenery here are pretty good.
But can't he see those hilly churls? Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's keep them out of the picture first. Steady as stone.
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my sketch. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly trails.
What's up with sketching hilly churls?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my sketch, it may give you a clue.
Wow. Look at the...
You can find these hilly trails anywhere. Quite boring. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and the cyclical lives of...
Hold your horses. Something to... We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? What?
So Sister Rosaria brought you. But back to the point. From her words...
We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucro.
I see. So then, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard a bit of everything. I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my forgive me. This must be
Whoa.
You're right. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. It's like you.
Well, if you're struggling...
I beg to differ, but you're not from the known world. By observing...
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
Mora, time for a change of...
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a writ?
Get them!
Steady as stone. I must leave no stone unturned. a question. After the seeds...
I don't know. Using after awakening.
No! Paimon's got a brain! But what's the seed...
Well, if it turns out to...
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. How you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is... Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? Fascinating.
What a stupid question! And another thing, it's Paimon!
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an... Oh, that rules out that possibility. But that would mean that Paimon... No.
Hey! How would you...
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious given that there's clearly a discrepancy in her... Firstly, let me lure a few slimes to the air.
Huh?
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good Naturally, if you require...
Slimes! Slimes are fine!
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Jumpy poo! Jumpy nice and spicy!
By royal decree!
I must leave no stone unturned. Someone needs to... I must leave no stone unturned.
Great work. If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external... Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally...
Internal flow?
It's very simple. I can use... If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary
And in the abnormal course of...
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparation. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason... yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test... It's a type of ore known as star silver. But unfortunately, not all of it is suitable. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver. All going to plan. We should be able...
Paimon's still got a few safety... Let's keep our eyes open.
Here. Should do for catalyst purposes.
Nice and spicy.
By royal decree!
Someone needs assistance.
This one. Usable with a bit of polish. What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way. This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
Hello!
Whoa! Look it up!
I wouldn't call them results. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship. Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll...
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, a cryoregisvine, in that sense.
Yes.
After all, if it turned out that he did have a
It would. Paul, speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being.
Great, I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well... in line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already.
Oh, this was the result This potion channels elemental power into the body. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. But of course, you're my assistant. By all sense and reason. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy...
Aw, Paimon wanted some...
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference. People are the same, they can understand, empathize. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is, for example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an Eye of the Storm. Have I explained it clearly enough? To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my... Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me. But starting with the premise of an
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as a...
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He started... what Paimon meant to say was... That's the spirit!
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to... If you're interested, why not have a look around?
Let's go see him.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Agreed. Well, on with there may be take Tevat, for example. But worlds may well exist, so, leaving elements to one side. I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for... No. You shan't be Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
You think Paimon knows how to do...
That was your best effort? Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help. I suppose I have a curiosity for... Anyway, why don't you cook us up a...
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more...
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. That does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are always on...
I'll leave you to it then. Looking for... If there's anything left over, maybe to...
Paimon doesn't think we'll... How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does it get these ideas from anyway? Let's just...
That was... And as far as the proliferation unless... Could it...
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's...
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good. And here's your portion. Enjoy.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on... Not that Paimon would have been able to do much...
Hey! You were being nice, but you do have tasty recipes. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you wanna...
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them if you had, say, superpower, like night vision or vibrator. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where...
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh, yeah! This must be electrohypostasis powder. The extract of an animal crystal fly can only be animal elemental...
Goodness. I'm wondering... This elemental sight... This is what allowed...
Yep, guess it does so...
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is so... Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be...
You mean, we failed it?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traits. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly... In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into a million fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical...
Nice and spicy. Boba, get them!
I must leave no stone unturned.
Nice and spicy. You want...
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end. I will factor the time expended and your top...
The opposite side of the lake.
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please.
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Great work. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way.
Me? Actually, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. I may be about to make some gold, petrified trees. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are... I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a Sunsetia.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to sketch those hilly trails? Because you got...
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you?
Of course not. You have been of greatest. Now, before we head back to the camps, follow me. There are some other ruins near. I imagine you must have encountered more than... I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capability. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return... There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action. Remember that this is a test of intellect. So should you get lucky in any way? So, let's see you in action. It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution. Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Steady as stone. I'll catch up.
it. I'll catch it.
Jumpy, jumpy, go!
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out. Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look. What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in great...
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this, unless you can think of anything better to do.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You!
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you... I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive.
Listen, sister, your guard's so high you can't even see over the top of it!
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed...
No way! Paimon would have sensed it! And anyway, he didn't even use any
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense it. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Monst.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. Now then, all things considered, which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made...
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh.
You're back. Good timing. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, but the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is... you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but have you ever considered that the world of Tevat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. But after I observed, imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, is not nurturing otherworldly life also It would seem that that's as far as we go.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have...
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from a short... So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness, your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean, at the time I've spent traveling with... In the future, if the need arises, well... I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have... Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections. But those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Look at that! Looks like someone made camp here.